I'd like to say welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. We'll be coming right back to you in just a little bit. We're going to be talking about the next Blytheville Schoo District Superintendent. The question is, were the candidates, were they vetted thoroughly? Okay, we also going to touch back on the Osceola hiring of the police, the Blytheville hiring of the Osceola police officer. We're going to touch base on that, give an update. Also, we're going to talk about what's going on with the Haitian refugee crisis. I want to talk about that for a little split second. But the main topic today would be the school superintendent. So sit back, relax. We'll be coming back with you shortly. Okay? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. Today, we're going to be picking back up on the school board superintendent for the Blytheville Schoo District. They will be making that selection tomorrow. So we're going to just talk real briefly on that. Not going to spend a whole lot of time. But before we get to that, I just want to give you an update. Well, not an update, but I want to talk about 2 or 3 other little topics here. First of all, I like to say as it relates to the hiring of the Osceola police officers for Blytheville for the drug task force. I was hoping to probably give you an update on that, but unfortunately, the video tape that I'm looking for. It is somewhat not the video, but the FOI that I send to the Osceola Police Department. The person that has that information to the file, believe it or not, that person has went on vacation and took the key with him. This is not the first time this happened. It seemed like that's the pretty much, I guess, policy for Osceola. Whoever has the key to personnel files, I'm told that that key stays with that person. Even the chief of police don't have a key, which I find is, somewhat strange for, records to be requested and there's no one there, uh, to take care of that matter. It's kind of like you're needing a first aid kit, but the person who has the key to the first aid cabinet then went on vacation and took the key with him. Well, that won't serve the person any good who needs medical attention, you think? But anyway, we can't talk about that, and there's some other issues that I wanted to talk about. Also, we want to piggyback up on the. Uh, oh yeah, just real quickly. Read in the paper, I believe. Just briefly looked over it. For those of you who didn't read the paper, the juvenile detention there at the Mississippi County Sheriff Department, they finna shut it down. From what I saw with the interview with Sheriff Cook there with KIT, it indicated that it'd be somewhat, I guess, cost effective to set it down, considering they spend something like $400,000 to operate the juvenile facility. I think that's a big number, because the reason I say it's a big number is because um, I think at any given time of the week, I think they only house, I think it stated 3 juvenile inmates. So certainly, I'd just like to see how the dollars are adding up. Is the 400 some $1,000, is that for 11 juvenile inmates? Because it stated that the facility is equipped for space capacity to only serve 11 juveniles. So the 11 juveniles, is that where the $400,000 coming at, or is it just 3 individuals? So I like to try to get that information just to try to understand why they shutting down a juvenile facility, uh, other than money factor. Okay, that's all I have on it. And of course, I'm going to be coming back. We're going to be talking about the Haitian uh, the Haitian crisis, the refugees. I guess I pronounced that right. Well, there was hundreds, if not thousands, of Haitians that was um, um, somewhat detained there at the border. Um, they endured some very inhumane treatment from the border control, using somewhat like a whip, um, swinging it toward the Haitians, using the horse. The horse itself could be considered a weapon because it could have trampled, um, any of the people that was out there in the water in that area. And so we're going to talk about that as well. There was one other thing that I think I wanted to talk about. Let me find it. Oh, yes. And I also want to talk about the incident, what happened with this lady, Gabby Patino. That's the young lady that went missing. The end result being they did find her body. It appears to be a homicide uh, case. They're looking for the husband now. They're doing a very extensive search for this husband. He's a suspect in the death of Miss Gabby Patino. And so why am I bringing that up? I'm bringing that up because there has been somewhat of a racial disparity into local police, state police, or even the FBI, that when black individuals go missing, is somewhat just pushed to the side. It's not even considered to be something important, even to put manpower into. And so that is the headlines now. Why is there such a discrepancy? Uh, should I say a disparity, racial disparity, when it comes to uh, those black individuals who have been reported missing? Why is it not taken important, and why are the manpower hours not put into those cases? All right. Um, Back to before I close out. Back to the Haitians. You do know that the Haitians and the Afghan, I don't think I'm pronouncing that right, Galveston residents, or well, not residents, but people. Uh, the Afghan, it seemed like America is welcoming those peoples into the country. Some claim that they helped our soldiers, during the time our soldiers were in Afghanistan, doing what they do in terms of trying to be some assistance to the United States soldiers. But I bring that up because, and we're going to get to the topic in a minute, the school board. Uh, I bring that up because if we're trying to say that we want to treat the Afghan refugees uh, with somewhat respect, and we want to be indifferent to those black and brown um, refugees, that they be uh, black or that they be Mexicans. In this particular case, we're talking about the Haitians. But there seem to always be anything that's black and brown. It seems like it's either X written across it or it's a question mark. Mind you, black Americans have fought in every war that America has had, from I think dating back since 1812. That it be World War One, World War Two, the Korean War, the Mexican War. What's another one? Boys, just about every war. The Iraq War, just about every war that America has fought in. Uh, African Americans have fought in every war since 1812. And I think it's fair to say that when black soldiers come back, they find it very difficult to get a job. Okay. They find it very difficult to maybe get a business loan, because of all the redlining, and sometimes even to get a home. Redlining is that. I'm talking about the banking industry. And so it just seemed like uh, black people in general have not been treated well um, since slavery. I just go back that far. Some gonna say, well, there go Tony again, talking race divide. No, 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 no. I'm talking factual information. Okay. I think President Biden, although I support President Biden, but when he and other Democrats make this statement, that's not who we are uh, as Americans, speaking on how the Haitian was treated there at the border. I beg to differ. That is who we are. America America bedrock is racism. It have been that way for years, uh, 400 years plus. It have been that way. America built this country on the back of slaves. So for someone to say that that's not who we are, in fact, that is who we are. Have we gotten better? Well, it all depends on who you're talking to. Okay, but I think in this day and time, if you want to reference the civil rights movement upon Dr. King and others, then okay, I'll say points may be on the board for that. But overall, in terms of housing, we still represent something like what is it, over 40 some percent of black uh, families in general don't own a home. Same with black businesses. We at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to that, and so um, uh, we still continue to be somewhat at the bottom of the barrel. But that's all I want to say about that. Um, want to move to the question at hand that is on the screen. We want to talk about were all the candidates vetted thoroughly. Okay. Now, I'm speaking on the school superintendents. I'm not going to be long on this here. Uh, Tomorrow, they will be having a meeting at the school administration building at 6 o'clock p.m. That will be the regular school board meeting. Okay. They will be um, conducting the business of selecting the superintendent as well. Now, you may ask, why is Tony bringing this up now? I tried to stay out of it. I wanted the school board to to conduct its business, to do its business in terms of selecting the superintendent. Um, I didn't want to weigh in on giving my little 2 cent on what I thought, which probably didn't mean nothing, no way to some. Um, but I do have some concerns with the two, with one of the two candidates. Let me just say that I do have some concern with one of the two candidates. I'm not going to mention the candidate name because they, like I say, they got a vote coming up tomorrow. But mainly, I want to use this time to speak to the Blytheville School Board. Like I got something on my forehead there. That's probably in my setting. But I want to use this time to speak to the Blytheville School Board. Hopefully, to the Blytheville School Board, you have um, vetted all the candidates, which come down to the last two candidates. Now, we need to be very mindful that our next superintendent that we select have a major job on his hands. We're yet in school performance. We're still on the list. We have to tackle that, in terms of getting our scores up. Um, there may be some other issues going on in terms of staffing, trying to get highly qualified teachers to come into the Blytheville School District to teach our students. Um, and so the next superintendent role is pretty much just like say the mayor of the city. He is the CFO, and he has been given the due privilege of trying to um, work in conjunction with the school board to improve the Blytheville School District, especially in the areas of um, school performance. And so he sets the expectation, or he sets the goal, uh, and work with the school board in conjunction with the school board, offer his expectation or his proposal in terms of how the school district can best move forward. Okay. And so one thing that the superintendent has to do, he has to be a good listener. Okay. He has to be a good listener. That means working with the school board. That means working with the teachers, the staff, the whole school administrators. And so he has to have um, good communication skills. He has to be a good people's person, people skills. Okay. Uh, he has to have that. All right. Now, um, in me speaking with um, some people, um, I've been given some information that really somewhat disturbed me in terms of some of those things I just indicated when it comes to people skills and communication skills, uh, work ethics, what I'm saying. Uh, and another thing that the superintendent must do, he must be engaged. You know, he must have a willingness uh, um, to care for our students enough to go out to speak with them at times, speaking with our students, speaking with our teachers, uh, trying to understand if the school district is meeting their needs in terms of giving them the available resources, if you will, that will best serve our teachers and their role as they uh, educate our our students. And so, in terms of teacher evaluation, you know, I'm learning that there are some concerns in that regard uh, on the teacher evaluation, people skills, communication, uh, and teacher evaluation. Those were two things that really disturbed me most. Some of the information that I have, and I will share this information out of fairness. I will share this information after the vote. Um, I put a question mark on that, but the board should know these things. So I'm just trusting that the board done did its due diligence in terms of vetting these two final candidates, um, uh, and being in a position to choose between the two. All right. Let me go over here to my board, and I didn't even put the gentleman's names up. Uh, Dr. Gabriel uh, Gabriel Jackson and Dr. Um, Zarano Bose. I can't pronounce his first name, but those are the two candidates to serve. Well, one of the two will serve as our next Blytheville School Superintendent. So please, I want you to call your school board rep. I have talked uh, to my school board rep. I have shared with him my thoughts on the school board selection process will occur tomorrow. And so the information that I'm speaking about in regards to teacher evaluation, work ethics, and of course, communication skills. We need to have a superintendent who have good communication skills, have a good work ethic background. All right. That is needed in regards to working with our school board and working with uh, our teachers and the whole school administrator as well. And so, but those are the two gentlemen right there that will be up uh, uh, tomorrow. One of the two will be our next school board superintendent. Now, I will say in fairness um, that I have had uh, some dealings, if you will, with Mr. Bo. When I say dealings, which means it's all school business. I used to represent special education students um, for the Blytheville School District. I also helped it out in Gosnell and Osceola as well. Um, and that's where I had my experiences with Mr. Bo. Uh, and so I know that, well, let me just stop there. So I'm going to go to my board right now and see if I get any comments. But I'm hoping that the school board have really thoroughly vetted our two finalists for our next school board superintendent. Okay. And I may come back after the vote and I may share um, the investigation work that I've done. We'll share it with the board um, if they reach out to me. I'm not going to reach out to them, but if they reach out to me, um, I will share it with them. But anyway, let me go to my board to see if I get oh, look like I didn't think I had nobody on. Look like I got Miss Jones, Miss Carrie Jones. Is that Boone? How you doing, young lady? You doing all right? All right. She's in Orlando. So you down there with all the good sunshine, all the good weather. Okay, nice for you tuning in. And don't forget about us. Home base. Come back and see us anytime. Okay. tuning in from Orlando. All right. We got Miss Williams. She always, that's probably one of my biggest fans right there. Miss Williams, how you doing? There go my brother there. How you doing there, Mr. Stringer? And look like everybody may be in the football game, I see. And so we're right at 25 minutes. And so that's pretty good time right there. Don't want to do no more than 30 minutes. And so I will say this here. If anyone is concerned about the next school superintendent that we get, I will advise you to please call your school board rep to try to get an understanding as to why you should select, one versus the other. All right, give them your vote. I want to say one other thing in regards to the black people who are not taken serious when they go missing. Also, that can be the same when it comes to prosecution. There's cases right here in Blytheville, Arkansas, to where there has been cases where there has been no investigation. There has been other cases where there has been no prosecution. We have had cases such as a prosecutor who dropped the ball. In other words, this prosecutor allowed the statute of limitation, which is called a speedy trial. That family had to watch that case be dropped based on the prosecutor did not prosecute the person who was arrested in a 1 year period. I think that's the statute on a speedy trial. In other words, this person had to walk free. That was because of falling down on the job. There was another case where a young man who was shot. That case was somewhat pushed to the side. There's another case to where the son of a mom whose son drowned right here in Blytheville. To this day, that mother have not got any satisfaction into the death of her son. There's another case here in Blytheville as well, and many of you know that case. You see what's on my my screen, my backdrop behind me. Justice for Rayshawn Warren. We have reason to believe there was never an investigation conducted into the death of Rayshawn. And so we have the same thing here in Mississippi County. I know we get on television, we watch all these things at other places, but right here in Mississippi County, we have the same discriminatory practices, if you will, when it comes to missing persons, prosecution, in some cases, an investigation. All right. So we have that here as well. And I want to close out on this little short video. It's not but probably about 2 minutes. And I want to show you the difference as to how they serve those black individuals reported missing as opposed to white individuals. Take a look at this video. Many of you remember this video, and I want you to take a look at it. Okay, let's play it now.
I can't do this. I cannot do this.
911, where's your emergency?
Yes, I'm calling. My son had come home from school. Kendrick Johnson.
You know, she said, have you heard from Kendrick? 12 o'clock, I knew he was dead.
The body had been moved. The scene, in my opinion, had been compromised.
But they said he climbed inside the mat to get the shoes hard and knew that was the body.
We opened the body in this particular case. The organs were not there. Paper had been stuffed into the cavity to fill it up.
Body parts are missing. Evidence is missing.
And we tested it, and it was blood. And we did DNA testing, and it was not the blood of Kendrick Johnson.
If it wasn't Kendrick's blood,
Who blood was it?
The parents hired their own medical examiner who said this was a killing.
An FBI agent's home was raided last month in connection with the investigation into the death of a Valdosta teenager.
Supporters for Kendrick's family are calling for a Department of Justice investigation. The Johnsons and their supporters now hope the FBI will get an answer to what happened to Kendrick Johnson.
All along, we know it was bullshit. We know it was bullshit.
If KJ had been white, we wouldn't have had to make this film.
Okay, that's pretty much, for those of you remember, Kendrick Johnson, who was found in the gym, wrapped up or rolled up in a mat, and they claimed that he committed suicide, pretty much crawled up in the mat and got stuck and couldn't get out. Come to find out, one of the suspects, I think son was involved in that. One of the I guess you can call him a suspect. I don't think he even was considered a suspect, but one of the names that came up were a son who had a dad that worked for the FBI. Many believe this was a cover up to where the FBI agent working in conjunction with the sheriff department and try to make this case go away. And to this day, the family is still looking for justice. So that's my point of when blacks go missing or an investigation is to be conducted, there's always a racial disparity when it comes to black people in general. That's a fact. That's not what they say, race baiting. You can call it that if you like, but it's all factual information. And so that's basically my show, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I said something to enlighten you when it comes to the school board issue, as well as some of the other things. I think the juvenile closure of there at the Mississippi County Jail. I hope you all will check into that, as well as stay on top of the Haitian immigrants crisis there. We've been allow thousands of Afghan people to come into this country. We welcome them, but we saying no to Haitians. We want to send them back. All right. So please talk to your senator, your congressman, both state and both national, and just share your thoughts on that. I'm gonna go back to my board. Look like someone else done chipped in. We're right at 32 minutes. I'm like on the went over, but I'm getting ready to shut it down. Okay, where we at? Okay, that's Mr. All right, how you doing, my brother, Mr. Stringer? Share your information with the board. I'm thinking about doing that, Mrs. Prute. I'm thinking about doing that, but I hadn't made a decision yet. I'm hoping that they will reach out to me, but if not, I just might have to do that, because in less than 24 hours, we will be, or right at 24 hours, we will be choosing our next district superintendent. I just didn't want to put it out there in the public, but I just want the public to know that it is very important. It is very important that the school board choose our next school superintendent, not based on likability, not based on kinship or any other affiliation, but the next school board superintendent must be selected based on not just his qualifications, but what or how have those work ethics, how have he carried out his job position? Okay, was it satisfactory? I don't just mean speaking to the principal of that school or speaking to the superintendent of that school, the present superintendent now. I don't mean just talking to the administrators, but hopefully our school board have spoken with some of the teachers of those particular schools that the two finalists have served. And I tell you, if they will speak with some of the teachers who have served it at those particular schools of these two finalists, then hopefully that will help them make a better decision in regards to which candidate will best serve for the Blytheville School District. Okay. And so hopefully they will do that. I think that's pretty much all the comments that we have. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to share with you all, this is my last month. You know, if you have not called me to book you as my guest, you only got this month to do it. I say this month, but Thanksgiving clean on out of this year, going up to Christmas, I will not be broadcasting. I will shut it down until 2022. So you got the rest of this month, and I may work the first 2 months of November. But after November, that will be my what is the word, finality? That's when I shut it down for 2021. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in for 2021. It's been great, and hopefully you will come back the next year and join me for another great year of the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. So please catch me Sunday 6 o'clock p.m. and we will bring you another great show, hopefully. So until then, I'd like to say peace and love, God bless, and good night.